Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do, so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. Also, check out the website Homegrown with G. Cole to listen and for all things homegrown. We're also very interactive. Please follow me on Twitter, on Instagram, and on Facebook at MyGCole.
This one for you. It's her latest, and it's called Crazy. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new.
Said pull it up from the top, from the top, from the top.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted.
Larger Matthew in Queens.
You leave me for somebody new.
Hey Vivine, how are you?
Why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love can hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving.
You want to know who the original singer is? It's Patsy Cline. A classic. Sultry's smashing it and making it a classic of her own.
I'm crazy.
And I crazy.
I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new.
Hey Jennifer.
Do I let myself worry?
Wagwan Michael. Hey Michelle.
Wondering
Mary, what's up? Colin Wagwan.
what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my love can hold you. I'm crazy
Hey, Marlene.
And crazy for crying. And I'm
Nadine,
crazy for
what's going on?
loving you.
Blessings, blessings, blessings to you.
Crazy for thinking that my love can hold you. I'm crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you loved me as long as you wanted, and then someday you leave me for somebody new.
Mark Anthony was popping.
Why do I let myself worry? Wondering what in the world did I do? Crazy for thinking that my can hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
Yeah, man. You can't ignore the sweetness of the music, man.
It's Mota. If Mota say I saw it go. It's Frankie B, ladies and gentlemen. It's called I Wanna Make Love. Suzanne Sultry, I'm telling you, that one is smashed. We gotta talk, mama. We got to talk. I love it.
Sitting in my home all alone and I need a lover. So tell me that you're coming over. Yeah, yeah. Got girl, I do you
Blessings, Phil Roy.
me would I gladly surrender. So tell me that you're coming over.
Hey, Diane.
Lady, I've been waiting a long time to hold you in these arms of mine. But you act like you're blind, girl, never see the sign. Why you treated I so unkind? Aren't you ready for my loving? Can't you feel what I'm feeling? If yes is the answer, or comes you know there, I'm ready for whatever. I want to make love tonight. I want to feel your love tonight. I want to feel on your body, girl, and my body, girl, doing what we think.
It's the midday link up right here on Jamaicans.com.
I want to feel your love tonight.
Tell your friends to tell their friends. Hey, Tracy.
Body, girl, and my body, girl, doing what we think is right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I wanna get lost in all the moments. Use all my body as a statement. I wanna get deeper and deeper. Want to make it sweeter until your body quiver. I want you to call up my name with a feeling that you can't contain. I wanna romance your body, tickle your fancy, emotionally drive you insane.
New York City in the building. Aileen, what's going on?
All done.
Gotta big up Eileen up there getting a good time.
I want to make love tonight in the darkness of the moonlight. I want to feel on your body, girl, on my body, girl, doing what we think is right. I want to make love tonight. I want to feel your love tonight. I want to feel on your body, girl, on my body, girl, doing what we think is right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, well.
Hey, Claudia. How are ya? Yeah, man, ladies and gentlemen, that one right there is Frankie B. It's called I Want to Make Love. All right, just dropping some joints for you right now. Fitzroy Wagwan, Ms. Jennifer, what's going on from across the pond? You know what I mean? Got to get my little cockney in. Anytime I talk to somebody from England, it's like my accent change. You know what I mean? Anytime I talk to somebody from England, it's like, I don't know, man. I can't control it. You know what I mean? And he's not the perfect English either. You know, he's cockney. He's like, you know what I mean? It's bait them a bait way up. You remember them statements from Twins of Twins? You know what I mean? So anytime the English people come on and say it's London in the building, I start talking like this. I don't know why. You know what I mean? I just don't know why. But it's just the things. It's so the thing, you know what I mean? Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I just got to breast up everybody. Oklahoma, I ain't got an accent for y'all. You know what I mean? But listen, thank you, first of all. And like I said, I've been having a battle with Comcast. We've been beefing for the past couple of days. We've been having some issues. So hopefully we can get through today's show in one piece. But this past weekend, I said, Jennifer, he's like, no, don't, he's not Cockney, you know what I mean? From London, you know what I mean? East London, all up in the place. Me and the Queen spar a lot, you know what I mean? Got a big up man like Gappy Ranks, mind the gap, you know, don't fall in the thing, you know what I mean? So the thing go. There's nothing worse than somebody, anytime, and I get the impression that anytime English people run into somebody else, they start talking like that. You've got to be all kind of annoyed. You know what I mean? Can you just not say, hey man, how are you? You got to be, no. Hey, mate, you know, everybody trying, I don't know, I guess the same thing with the patois too. But this past weekend, this Saturday, history was made in so many ways. Our culture was represented, uplifted, blasted into the stratosphere by our legends. You know what I mean? Hurry, so what's going on in Pembroke Pines? Our legends, Beenie Man and Bounty Killer. You know, can't talk like a Grenadian. You know what I mean? Who's this now? My bitching them from from India. I don't know, man. I can't speak the language. You know what I mean? I am from India. My name is Rajiv. I have all kinds of accents, but I can't speak the one from Grenada. You know? So we're going to big up all the big artists. We're going to play bag of big tunes. We're going to play all kinds of things. We're going to haul them, pull them up. You know what I mean? Bounty Killer, Beenie Man, all of them. You know what I mean? I am from India, but I just love the reggae music. I love it. I love it. I can't get over myself. It's phenomenal. You know what I mean? Ladies and gentlemen, we're done with it now. Stop it. All right? So here's the thing. The culture was represented to the fullest. The legends, the icons. Beenie Man, Bounty Killer. When I say the place was on fire, the world was watching, and they represented, you know, the conversation that happens, and the conversation whenever things like those happen is always, okay, what's next? You know, who I hear people saying Shabba, I hear people say Supercat. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I don't think, I'd love to see it all. It's our culture. I want to see it up there, but I don't think there's anybody, any other two artists. You can name any artist you wanna. I don't think there are any two artists that could have represented dancehall better, or the way they did, like Bounty Killer and Beenie Man. I think oftentimes, you know, it is a young man's sport, and it is we're prisoners of the moment, and you know, we take a lot of things and a lot of people for granted. You know, so when we talk about our icons, our legends, let's talk about Beenie Man and Bounty Killer for a minute. They're not the first to have done it, bar none. You know what I mean? Absolutely not. And they'll tell you that it came up under the tutelages of their predecessors, the Shabba ranks. And when I say predecessors, they're still around, still alive, still kicking the game. But, you know, those are the ones that paved the way for them. The Shabba ranks, the Borough Bantans, the Super Cats, you know what I mean? The Papa Sons, you know, the Lieutenant Stitchies and all that. And they pay homage and they pay respect. And I love that and I appreciate that. But I just don't think there could have been two other people who could have represented the way they did. I know people talk about Shabba. Shabba is a pioneer. Shabba has done it on the world stage, big stage. Ain't no question about that. Supercat has his legacy too. But if we're going to be real and map it out, there has not been, you know, in the great ones, that is, for the great ones, the ones that we consider our icons, our Shabbas, our Supercats and everybody, I don't think there's been anyone or any two other dance hall artists that have remained in the sphere from the time they came out. Shabba is great, Shabba came, but there was a period of time, and there's a long time too, when he was absent. Right? For whatever the reason being, he was absent. Kato and a lot of others, you know, period of time that they were absent. Bounty Killer and Beenie Man have remained relevant and consistently so. Bounty Killer, my artist, bar none, my favorite DJ all time. All right, Bounty Killer made me look at music and dancehall in a total different light in terms of lyricism. We always talk about, or I speak of, the difference between lyricism and wordsmith, right? Some people are lyricists and some people are wordsmiths. Bounty Killer is a lyricist. You know, people talk about the cartels and stuff like that. In my eyes, cartels are wordsmith, all right? Can put the words clever together and make you say, man, did he say that? But Bounty Killer to me is a lyricist, one like we've never seen before or after in the scope and the sphere of dancehall music. All right. Everybody from across the globe was watching. And again, they didn't drop the ball. Beenie Man himself, hilarious. You don't want to be that guy, officer. You do not want to be that guy. All right. There's no way they could have stopped that because the culture was represented on the highest platform and they did it just crazy, crazy, crazy well. All right. I got to shout out all the people who came in the room, you know what I mean? All the legends that came in from all other genres. Sometimes, again, this reggae, this dancehall music, it's something we can't take for granted, but it's cool. It's human nature. We take ours for granted. Don't get it twisted. A lot of other people take their own culture for granted too, but we take ours for granted in a way like I think most don't. So it takes things like these, events like these, occurrences like these, platforms like these for us to realize, well, damn. This thing is amazing. All right. At one point, there were 500,000 people watching at one time. Now, how social media platforms work and how they register the stuff is, if you see 500,000 watching, it's really not everybody. All right. Let's think about the people who are watching from smart TVs and from a whole bunch of different avenues. It doesn't register as a count, right? And then the other thing pretty much is, for every one person that's watching it on whatever device, how many people are watching it. So the estimated projections right now are that when that came out, it was the highest viewed amongst all the Verzuz episodes. All right, we're talking about Jill Scott. We're talking about, you know what I mean, Erykah Badu. We're talking about Face. We're talking about Teddy Riley. We're talking about a whole bunch of other people, and it just the way the attention that they drew, you know what I mean, was promoted on so many different platforms, and not necessarily by them, just by people who were awed and who were anticipating this thing. And not just that, I think what was so lovely about it was the obvious love between the two artists, because these are two artists that have been rivals for a long time. Now, a lot of times people can mend things just in the sake of growing up. People can mend things because financially, business-wise, commercially, it's not the best thing to have. So they can mend things for different reasons. But it's obvious that there's synergy and there's a love and there's a respect between the two artists. And when you hear the catalogs, right now it's estimated that over 3.4 million people watched thus far. Now remember, people like myself, we were working. I had an event I had to do at that time. Thanks a lot, Comcast, for ruining that. But during that event, I had, skipping through, trying to catch up, trying to do it. So I went back and watched it after. When I go back to watch it, there are a couple of different people who put it up on YouTube, right? Let's say there are 50 people who put it up on YouTube. A lot of these are already in the 80s of thousands of views. So let's talk about after the event, all the viewership that's on YouTube, because we're talking about all who were watching it in real time, right? Who are watching it in real time, and realistically speaking, yeah, I think we're probably 4 or 5 million by now. Buju and the Marleys could have also been a good Verzuz. I do think they could, and here's what makes the Beenie Man Bounty Killer situation a little different. The concept of Verzuz, because even my wife was saying to me, their thing, it just shot because of the fact that they were actually clashing. The thing about the Verzuz situation is it's not a clash thing normally. What it is pretty much is it's just people playing music from their catalogs. All right. So it's not me versus you. It's really my tune, your tune. It's a tune for tune. Right. But in our culture, where we come from, Jamaica, when we hear clash, when we hear Verzuz, especially people like a Beenie and a Bounty, we want them going at each other. Not any derogatory way, the disrespectful way, but we want that energy, you know what I mean? That we're accustomed to from the Stings and the clashes of old. And that they delivered like nobody else. Nobody else did that. The moral is, yeah, they could play songs. I mean, I'm a huge Junior Gang fan. I'm a huge Stephen Marley fan. I'm a huge Kimani Marley fan. I could keep going, but those are my top three, right? And they have catalog. They have a healthy catalog. Buju has a healthy catalog. And it would have drawn great attention. But we're talking about the energy here. Those artists aren't necessarily clashing anybody. The fact that these two icons, these two giants who feuded for so long, were able to come and give you the tune for tunes, and they did not vacate the concept and the premise of what Verzuz is. They still gave you the stories behind the songs. They still took you down memory lane. They still gave you nostalgia, right? Because there's a lot of things. They gave us some songs that you even hear Bounty Killer say, man, yo, me forget, say you have that tune in their repertoire. Or Beenie Man saying, well, damn, I forgot you had that one. You know what I mean? Going through so many things. All the collaborations, all the internationally produced songs, all the number ones, all the top 10 hits that these guys have had. Because they spend so much time on the stages too. We take that for granted. I've said it, I rate Beenie Man down to the ground, one of the best performers ever. All right? I rate Bounty Killer up to the sky, one of the best artists ever. In fact, Bounty Killer, one of those people who that's one of the first artists that I actually spent my money on buying their CD. One of the first dancehall artists I spent my money on buying the CD, the album, My Experience. I talk about the albums that come out of Jamaica, my preference. I don't look at it from a production standpoint. I don't look at things oftentimes from any other vantage point, from radio, from curator, from podcast. I just look at stuff a lot of times from that of a consumer, of a fan, of the music, of the culture. And that's why when I tell people all the time, when we talk about legends and we talk about legacy, we are hero worshipers. And a lot of times we have a shelf and we put some people on the shelf and nobody can surpass, nobody can equate, because it's blasphemy to say, okay, somebody younger is greater. But when it comes to the greatest albums of all times, I throw Sizzla in one of the greatest albums ever come out from a Jamaican artist in The Real Thing. I throw Till Shiloh up in there. I throw Bounty Killer, My Experience up in there. You know what I mean? The Many Moods of Moses and all them things. I remember it was 1999, or was it early 2000? One of them 2 years, because it was before September 11th. I was in Spain. I was in Barcelona, right? And downtown Barcelona, going through Las Ramblas, having a good time, just enjoying the culture, soaking up the Spanish culture. And we're walking. And there was a huge, I guess you could say it was a skyscraper. It was a real hundreds of stories up. A real tall building, put it that way. Hopefully, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was huge. And that was a time of the Virgin Megastores. They had a Virgin Megastore there. And we're talking about 1999. So remember, all the biggest hip-hop acts are out at that time, all the biggest R&B acts, because I still say the 90s was not just the greatest for reggae and dancehall music. I think some of the greatest R&B was made in the 90s. I think some of the greatest hip-hop music was made in the 90s, all right? So I'm downtown Barcelona, and there's this tall store. There's a Virgin Megastore there. And then there's a poster. Remember, they used to drop posters on buildings. But this poster, let's say the building was 100 stories, right? The poster was probably 30 stories. So they dropped that poster down the side of the building, 30 stories down, big. So you could see this from anywhere you were, downtown Barcelona and further out. And you know who that artist was? You know what that album was? It was Beenie Man, The Many Moods of Moses. All right? Beenie Man, Many Moods of Moses. Huge. Europe, Spain, international. All right? It's not even an English-speaking country. Beenie Man, The Many Moods of Moses. Now, of course, it's. I think it was a Virgin Records that it came out on, so they did what they had to do. But imagine you as a Jamaican going through Spain, just chilling and looking up and seeing your culture represented like that. Beenie Man. All right? So when I think and talk of the music, this is soul for me. This is coming from my heart. This is coming from my soul. And how I felt when I saw those two artists representing not just the culture, but the avenue that's called dancehall. where people have so much negative to say about sometimes. Oh, dancehall culture can be polarizing. Dancehall culture is not polarizing. Some of these fools are. You know what I mean? So dancehall culture is very galvanizing. But we do have some of these fools doing what they do. So, to see them just drawing everybody from across the globe together to watch. And this is where we are as a time, you know what I mean? I think about it right now. I said, who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that there would be a time when we would be wilding out from the comfort of our homes on a phone or on your TV or whatever the case may be, losing your mind like you were at Sting, like you're at Jam World. Who would have thought it? This just tells you where the future's going, right? It just telling you where we're going right about now. Again, like I speak of my OSHA class, I prefer being in the classroom because we can touch. I can keep people's attention. It's tough to keep people's attention when they're at home. But went well, and we're going to be doing it again. Let me see. Bounty Clash was a great way to bring forth these convos because people forget all the time. After time, I just want to see the culture in our country get to a point where other genres and people can respect the mark and what we have done in the industry itself. We still have to keep climbing. Absolutely. And what I love about it is that it gives that that sense of patriotism, that national pride. All right, because here's the deal. I'm gonna tell you this: there were people on there that would not normally. I'm talking about our people that would not normally be bumping or Beenie Man and a Bounty Killer. But when you hop on and you got the reality of what was going on, that was Rodney right there. Rodney, we get still the nice guy, Rodney. You know what I mean? The warlord is still sleeping, but Rodney that. Well, go on, David I. And we get Moses. Right? Giving you everything, curating their own, going back and giving you the hits after hits, the ones you forgot about, the ones I forgot about. All right? And I'm telling you, it was amazing. Right now, the response has surpassed any of the other ones that came before it. And we're talking about commercial genres that generate millions and billions of dollars more than what we generate in our little industry. And I say that on purpose. You know what I mean? It's just what I love about it is to see not just people enjoying music, but the respect. Because here's what. A lot of times I always wonder why artists seem to make music for other artists, or artists make musicians play for other musicians, right? I'll be on stage with my band, or producers are in the studio doing this thing, artists on stage, and it's almost like they're making music for other artists. Artists don't buy music from other artists, right? Musicians don't do that. So you need to focus on the fans. But there's something and there's a reason there why you focus on your peers. Because that's where your validation comes from. That's the reason why some accolades and some awards mean more to artists, to musicians, to thespians, to actors, to philanthropists, to business people than do others. The reason is because it's coming from their peer. The peers who sometimes can be the competition. So when your own people vote for you, so when your own competition, your own rivals, your own colleagues vote for you, sometimes it means a lot more than just some random nonsense where somebody calls you and say, hey, I'll have this stuff and I'm giving out awards. You want one? Or, hey, if you pay to join this fraternity, then you'd be up for it. You want one? No. So that's the reason why when I watched and I saw all of their peers on the international level, it's not about being starstruck. It's not about just the fact that the big artists, as we'd call them, watching, the Rihannas, the Diddies, you know what I mean? The Ashantis, you know what I'm saying? Luda, everybody. You know what I mean? They said Joe Biden was watching. I think y'all were lying. You know what I'm saying? But it's just all the people who appreciate the culture. And we know they appreciate the culture because they've always dabbled. You know what I mean? All these people have been a little enamored and awed with the Jamaican culture, and they come to Jamaica, they do their collabos with Jamaican artists. But, they benefit from that too. But to see them sitting down at home, watching, and not just watching, but very, very involved. Because you watch stuff and it's just rolling by, but you're going to, take up your phone and comment and say, fire, fire, fire. Crazy. Right? Crazy. I see people ask me about the Mataran thing. I don't really want to talk about this, to be honest with you, because there's always detractors and there's always detractors amongst us. Agendaism is always at play. There's always those people who you can't spray them off with the big gun. Not meaning it literally, but you can't get rid of that one. But it's a moment to be proud. It's a moment that we all got to revel in. And here's the thing that I've learned and I've seen, I've known. I grew up in Ocho Rios. Ocho Rios is a tourist place, right? So majority of the revenue that comes into Ocho Rios and that pours into the country comes through tourism via Ocho Rios, right? There was a time when Ocho Rios was referred to as the tourist capital of the world. So the tourism was something that brought in a lot of money, and the government invested in that to make sure that it was protected. Know what I mean? However, another thing that always contributed to the country is our music, our reggae music, our dancehall music, right? Put it this way, it is our brand. At the end of the day, branding is important and branding is key. And the music has been responsible more than anything else. The music and the food and our athletes and so forth are responsible for the branding of the nation more than anything else. If our politics will sell the nation, nobody now buy. You understand me? If it's our financial viability and how well they are as economists, nobody now buy it. Right? If it's about integrity from a government standpoint, nobody now buy it. So here's what we're going. Boom, we're sliding over to the people now, to the masses, because they're the ones representing the culture. Let's think about back in the 80s. Right? The Rastaman still I get oppressed to this day. Rastaman have him spliffed, them out, arrest him, carry him, go to jail, whatever the case may be, give him a hard time, beat him up. Right? But when you watch the commercial that was advertised in Jamaica, what was on it? Outside of my girl coming out of the water with them perky, with her thing saying Jamaica. Yo, I got to go there. But it's the Ras coming out of the water, flashing them locks, water going everywhere, shaking that. You know what I mean? The t-shirt with the Bob Marley on there, with the spliff in them mouth, all them things is what represents the brand, right? So that makes the world say, that's a place I want to go. That looks like a place of solitude. That looks like a place of relaxation. The music is so warm and inviting. Once you turn on reggae music, it's prehensile as all hell, you know what I'm saying? It's reaching, it's like aroma. You know what I mean? It's like the pudding man on the side of the road on in a prairie. If you're up the hill, that aroma is coming to get you. And next thing you don't know what happened, but you down there buying pudding. It's the same thing with the music. The music works as the brand. But we've never seen government really invest, support, do what they've got to do for the music like they should. Now, whenever things don't go, it's supposed to go, we can always assume why. You see, the thing with tourism pretty much is majority of that revenue will come back into the state. And when I say state, I mean government, whatever. When it comes to reggae music, a lot of that revenue is going to the artists. Of course, the artists coming back home and spending it there. Not true artists love spend money, love show off, love do what they do. So it's coming back. Don't get it twisted for a minute. It's coming back. That's economics 101. That's where they live, right? But here's the thing. When it comes to our music, the government are normally behind it like they should. Unless, of course, it's going to highlight them or an individual on a stage saying, hey, I'm such and such, I do this, I do that. I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying our most tangible resource, our only inexhaustible resource is our music and our culture. Being in Ocho Rios, and I went to a military school, so sometimes we'd travel and do stuff like that. You know, Ocho Rios right there, we used to have the Reynolds Pier and the bauxite stuff going on there from Kaiser and all that stuff. But bauxite is something that is not infinite. You dig and mine, and then it's done, right? Then you got to go find something else, right? The land, things with the land can change and whatnot. The topographical effects of all of these chemical stuff and all the nonsense that we're doing, it severely affects our agriculture too. So even the amount, the volume of stuff that we used to be able to grow and export, that's affected, right? So you can't really see that much when it comes to our banana and our sugar cane and all them things. It's gone down. You know, the only thing that's been increasing, and I'm not talking about quality now, I'm talking about quantity here, is our music. Because every other person's an artist. And some of them are very good. From the day the music start make until now, right? From the day the music start make until now, there have been great artists putting up music. And no matter how we're cultured to say, yo, no good music now make again. There's always somebody, right? There was Bob doing it and people, yeah, Bob, you know what I mean? And then lost Bob, but never dead with Bob. Not true. We have the Jimmys, we have our Berries, we have our Freddies, we have our John Holtz. Everybody doing that, the Dennis, everybody doing it. And as the people some died and some got older, we never say, oh, it's dead and gone. Right? There was the Sizzla Kalanjis and the Buju Bantans and a whole bunch of people, right? And then when them man kind of not on the top of what they're doing, we never say dead and gone. Because we had the Chronics, them, not true. And we have the Protege, them, not true. So it's inexhaustible. It's the one inexhaustible resource that we have in Jamaica. It's our musical talent and culture, right? No, don't get me wrong. As with everything else, there's a cup of bad apples. You know what I mean? Xavier, just make a one trip, man, and just get a couple of the pudding. You know, drink some water, I got better about the pudding and that mess up my life. Just talking about the pudding, I mess up my life, man. I tell no lie. Shouldn't talk about it. But here one now. Again, our resource of music is inexhaustible. This culture is something that, when you look at the size of Jamaica on the world map, right, compared to the effect that Jamaica has had on the world stage. Now, let me tell you something. I love traveling. And the good thing about it is, I love traveling for vacation. Not necessarily to work and, okay, I'm going to do music and to do this and do that. That's cool too. It's a part of the game. But I love traveling for vacation. Why? Because I really get to see. I really get to soak in. I really get to enjoy. I really get to participate. I really get to partake in it. Versus, my passport said I've been to 50 countries, but realistically, I've been to 50 airports and 50 stadiums. You know what I'm saying? So what I'll say is this. I do go around wherever I go. I've traveled many countries. The world is huge, so I'm not going to say I've traveled the world. But I've seen my fair share. I'm in double digits, probably triple digits when it comes to countries visited. And you know what? I am yet to go to a country in the world where I don't see something Jamaican. I don't see a knockoff jerk chicken. I don't see a Bob Marley t-shirt somewhere. I don't see somebody with a red, green, and gold. I don't see a Ras. I don't see somebody that said Ja. You know what I mean? That pudding makes money cheat. A serious thing, Listen, we're not going to put that in the atmosphere. Because when me tell you, say, matey, I go down and pudding man this evening. I'm left pudding out of the window. And COVID or no COVID, husband disappear. And then come back with pudding in the mouth corner. Tell people, said, their wife said they were around the back of the house. Stop it. Jacqueline Wagwan. But the thing is this, when it comes to, again, our culture, it's something we've got to protect. It's something we got to preserve. And a lot of times, the deterioration of our culture sometimes can come from within. When you think about a tooth decay, right? When you think about bone decay, it's from the inside. It's from the middle of it, right? So the culture, the music, it doesn't get affected from outside. People from outside can't really affect it negatively. It's the people from the inside. So yes, you'll always have some artists that represent the culture negatively. I call that ill-represent and misrepresent. It's not even representing. It's misrepresentation, right? So we do have that. But to be honest with you, there are more people doing the good works, It sounds like a broken record. I say this on here every day, but statistics have shown, in order for you to talk about something good that has happened to you, if something good happens to you, it have happened to you 17 times for you to talk about it. If something bad happens one time, you're harping on it. So we do that a lot, where we talk about the negative, but we got to harp on the positive. You see what happened Saturday? That was a positive, right? Now, again, I keep getting these messages, Mataran, earworm now. I was not interested enough to watch the thing at the time, the Mataran thing, but I did watch some of it, and I think it's despicable. That's just me. But people are who they are. He has his personal grievance with Bounty Killer. But when something like that is happening, when you see the world watching, there's nothing you should ever do to take away from that. Right? If you are doing your thing and getting your shine and I can't stand you, I'm sure they have each other. I'm going to send you a text and I'm going to say, yo, I don't like you. You whack. Or like Killer that say, YOLO! You know what I mean? Hi, Hardy one. I don't like it. It's Rodney. Yo, I don't like you, The Killer don't. Yo, I'm going to send it to you. But I'm not going to do anything that's going to take away from the culture on that world stage. So the Mataran comments, and I watched the video with him talking on his live, and Ron Marley was there, and Ron caught him in a couple of lies. I just found it hilarious that he was just lying about the whole thing, and he had a negative. Artists are bitter. Some of them do have mental issues. Some people bitter. Major Hype not innocent either. They're talking about the fact that what their gripe was, if they had reached out to the artist to do the same thing, they would not have done it. Maybe not. Who knows? Credibility is a lot. But also, you would never have reached out because you say you're the man not good. You don't have a good relationship with him. You don't like him. So you would not have reached out to him. So if you're saying, hey, if I had reached out to him, he would not have reached out. So I sell out, it would have never happened because you guys are not friends. The way you spoke about these guys, you would have never reached out to them. You'd have to reach out to 2 other artists. And you never did. And those artists are not on trial. So we're talking about the 2 artists that were representing Jamaica to the world. There's no reason for you to come across negative. There's always something negative. I feel like it's almost like when you're watching cartoons. When you're watching a cartoon, my wife watches her little fuzzy, sweet cartoons. I only watch cartoons like G.I. Joe and Defenders of the Earth and all of them, and Transform. What my cartoon people in there? My Transformers, I'm a Thundercats, I'm a Silver. That's what I want to watch. I'm a Superman, my Transformers, my Spider-Man. That's what I watch. And there's always the villain in there just sitting down like this. I'm going to take over the world. But there's no logical explanation. No explanation. It's not like somebody did him something. Somebody did him wrong. And he's bitter. He just green. And he's actually colored green. He's like, I'm going to take over the world. You know what I mean? And I see a lot of people like that. No logical explanation. Captain Planet's my joint, Cosmic. That's my joint. All right? So, but gargoyles, you see, boy, listen, I tell you this, you start talking cartoons and everybody come out the woodworks talking about their cartoons. When we see our kids right now sitting on in front of the TV watching all these cartoons, they're like, can't you go do something? It's the same thing you used to do. Mom used to be like, can't you take up a book? Nah, Mom. I'm watching Jason and the Wheel Warriors. Can't you go take up a book? Nah, Mom. Thundercats is on, So it is what it is. And here I am talking about nostalgia right now and reaching back into the corners of my mind, going back into yesteryear. All right, talking about these cartoons. It's the same effect that the music had on us on Saturday when Beenie Man, when Bounty Killer took that stage. Swiss Beats, large up yourself. I know you've had respect for the culture from a long time. We've seen you come through, embrace the culture, collaborate with the artists, but not just that, just soak in the culture. You know what I mean? And so I know you love the culture, so we appreciate that. All right, whomever was involved, I heard Babsy Grange was involved. Congrats, kudos, much respect, love, honor, thank you. All right? And whomever else. All right? I see Shaggy put out a post saying that, listen, what we just witnessed is a testament that the fact that these 2 artists should be able to travel, should be Inspector Gadget, Phineas and Ferb. Listen now, man, stop it. Stop it. These 2 artists should be able to travel the world, right? I don't say that Jamaica and or leaders down there can always call and pull a switch or whatever the case may be and stuff happens. But here's the deal. If one of the politicians them not have a visa and them need for travel come America, it happen by tomorrow, don't? Not sure. We've seen where politicians and those people have lost their visa just in the shuffle. And a man can make a one phone call, not you. And them visa can come back, not you. So that means, and to be perfectly honest with you, the job that the politicians coming up here to do, I can't put the worth of it on a scale. I can't put the worth of it on a scale, and I can't tell exactly. I'm not a political person, don't like it. Sharon Burke from Solid Agency, big up yourself, of course, obviously. Definitely. I'm not a political guy. Don't like politics. I think there's nothing ethical about it. I just think it's an avenue where the unethical hang out, and you've got to be comfortable and cool with being able to slide the goalposts between ethics and agenda. So for that reason, I have very little respect for the avenue of politics. Not the politicians, because I respect people, right? So as an individual, I have respect for you. But the avenue of politics and the business of politics is something I have zero respect for. Don't like it, never will, right? So, but I look at it like, I can't value what those people are doing. But I can value tangibly what our artists, our musicians, and so forth are doing. Anytime one of them represent on the world stage,
it's almost an immediate financial impact on the nation. It affects tourism. You see the visitors coming, right? From all across the globe, especially from those nations that really, really love and enjoy the reggae music and the dancehall music and the culture. And it is what it is. You know what I mean? So like I said, right now, for each politician that does what they do, I can put up monetary value on their contribution to the country. But Bob Marley has generated more money for Jamaica than any finance minister has ever done, than any tourism minister has ever done, right? The likes of a Jimmy Cliff, right? A Bobby Digital, right? A King Jammys, Reggae Sunsplash back in the day, Sumfest, all them things. That's our culture. That's what we're about. That's what we bring to the table. People are making great reggae music across the globe, but it's like the pudding man on prairie. You can make your pudding over this on the body now, but it ain't like film. You understand what I'm saying? I'm coming right back to this damn pudding man. Yo, stop it, yeah, man. Pudding man, Jano star, Jano. But ladies and gentlemen, it's our culture. It's what we grew up on. We've got to preserve it. We've got to continue to share it with the world because that's what we stand for. That's our brand. I implore all the artists that are out there doing it on a higher level to continue to do so. We appreciate you. Trust me. We may not be the type of people. I know I'll sell it. I'll sing it I'll sing it in a heartbeat. My love and my appreciation for what you all do. Not everybody does, but it is what it is. Trust me. We appreciate it. All right. Continue doing what you're doing. The ones that are doing the contrary, the counter to that, rethink, reevaluate what you do and how you do it, because you too could be out there being appreciated on the world stage. Now, again, Beenie Man and Bounty Killer, I'm going to tell you how this music and the culture works before we get up out of here. Beenie Man and Bounty Killer are not the artists out of Jamaica who've sold the most records. No, they're not. They're not the artists out of Jamaica who've had the most crossover records. No, they're not. They're not the artists of Jamaica who probably had the most number ones and most top tens. No, they're not. But none of the others, and I don't call names because I rate all the others and I don't want anybody to interpret it as a slight against anybody else. But there aren't two other artists that's ever lived in, visited, resided in the house of dancehall that could have had the effect that those two had. So it's hats off. You see me cut off all my ears so I can take my hats off. You understand? Hats off to Beenie Man. Hats off to Bounty Killer. And I can't wait to see you on an international stage. I can't wait. Sad as it sounds, if Bounty Killer and Beenie Man they in Florida next week, I'm going to get my ass in a body-size Ziploc bag so I'm not catch nothing because I still don't want to carry no COVID to my family. And I'm going to be in the venue. You understand me? I'm out there, and if a ticket $100, it's all gravy. All right? I could stand to lose a pound or 3. All right? So if they are here, me dead. You understand? And I know I'm not the only person that feels that way. Now, people may say, yeah, Bounty Killer and Beenie Man have been highlighted, so if they have to go across the globe right about now, their stocks are up. Absolutely. But the good thing about when you do things Jamaican or anything Jamaican, and you rep that flag, is that the residuals come back to the country. Because guess what happen right about now? Some journalists, because right about now, some of the most popular journalists within reggae music don't have nothing to do with Jamaica. I mean, they love the culture and everything, but they're not from Jamaica. You know what I mean? Reggaeville and a whole bunch of them who show love to the culture and do it well. Way better than many local. But they're not from there. So what happens pretty much is when things like these happen, then outside people who can have an effect will come in and they bring their cameras. And one camera is the eye to the world. So all the people who subscribe to what they do are watching. World stage. You know what I mean? Put the pressure up on the powers that be, man. It's crazy. It's amazing how we have the biggest. We are pretty much the Mecca, right? The house, the womb by which reggae music is always conceived. But yet still we don't have the appropriate venues for people to come and enjoy that. right? Gotta get up out of here, man. But before I come out of here, you're crazy. What the man them said, the two man them will do the thing. Whoa.
You ready for the girl? I say some brother lion. Hey,
Prima.
some girl them daily price.
Dana. What was that?
Why come a road and a poor man a rat? Why you spread rumors say how Shelly sauce? Shelly say a lion, she a cuss be a clot. How come him come figure turn round and find for cause him a
Let's boy. No, sir, Rodney. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm an artist. And I want to say I'm an artist. Or they think I joke, man, make. I'm an artist. But the other. Yo. ZZ. Cool, no, man.
No. Give me some bass when me sing something first. Me go so.
Dealer.
Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. Oh na 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 na. It's all about Romy and them big
Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that, ladies and gentlemen. I want me to say the thing. Oh, shit.
None of mercy. None of mercy. None of mercy. Man, I'm so sick.
Yo.
Woman, you're living too dangerous. Too dangerous. Too dangerous. Woman, I live dangerous. Sure.
No, sir, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, when I say the thing proper, the thing proper.
Yes, Naya. Cool na aya. Who am I? It's just the girl, them sugar. Alright. Here I know. Whoa, na na na.
Zaga!
Na 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 na.
Come on now.
Oh, na na.
Gotta cut it before they cut it, not you.
Sim Simma. Who got the keys to my bimmer?
No, sir. That's I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Beenie Man. I'm telling you about the killer. Yo, I'm gonna do a show for y'all. Strictly can't do it on Facebook because, of course, restrictions and rah. But we're gonna do something for y'all, all right? And make sure say y'all could get into it and enjoy it like I did. Want me tell you, say Saturday I felt like I was by the pudding man in Prairie. I ain't gonna lie. That's how I felt with Beenie Man. That's how I felt. I'm not teasing. I'm just giving you. You know how it goes. You know how the thing go. All right, I tell you what, since I can't get another, I'm going to get this. How about this for size? How about this right here? You can't say no killer.
Yeah.
Yes, man, you see it? You want more Bounty Killer? I got you, all right? But that's all I could give you right about now. I could give you...
Not a mercy.
Easy. Ladies and gentlemen, two of the best. Here's the thing about it, too, when I talk about the trickle-down effect, right? And how it affects us all. This morning when I got up and I went on to Tidal, just to... As a matter of fact, let me tell you why I went on to Tidal. I went on to Tidal this morning to go download Susan Solcher's brand spanking new single, Crazy, right? So if you haven't got it, go get it, all right? So I went on to Tidal to go get Solcher's brand new song, Crazy. And guess what was on the front page? Right there. Beenie Man, Bounty Killer, Verzuz, right? And then they say pretty much, oh, okay, if you haven't checked it out, here's our catalog. And then it lists, you're going down all of Beenie Man, you're going down all of Bounty Killer. And you can't beat that. Trust me. It's marketing 101. It's going to help them, but it's not just going to help them. It's going to help the country. It's going to help the culture. And we all need to, all right? So call up who you need for call up. Shout up who you need for shout up. And tell them, say, the man them need to get visa. Shaggy spoke on it, all right? Go check that post out. The man them need forget them visa. You know why them need forget them visa? Because I need for see Bounty in concert. I need for see Beenie in concert so I can hear tunes like...
Well, this one called Down in the Ghetto. None other than the mighty Bounty Killer.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I got up, it's gunshot, a echo.
Yo.
Well, down in the ghetto where the poor have a thing, and the politician is the guns them a bring. Hey, and the crack and the cock them a support the killing. Me check it out, the whole of them are the same thing. Down in the...
No, sir, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I'm talking about. We need... Oh, snap, there's more. Oh, snap.
None of mercy. I need to make a special call on the telephone. And when you call me, can't get no dial tone. None of mercy with this by the house alone.
It's a big one. I got to get up out of here, though.
Excuse boss, me cellular phone. Me call
Internet and see. Yo, ladies and gentlemen, when I say the catalog, the music.
Beenie Man album, ready for kill. Beenie Man album, ready for kill.
Yo!
In the moods of Moses, ready for kill.
I'm gonna cut it right here, ladies and gentlemen. Before them cut us off, I gotta go. All right. Come on, come on, come on,
Yes,
come
sir.
on, come on, come on.
Fat brown, slim, long, man, anything we do.
It's in crazy.
Hey, let me tell you something.
It's time to go.
Send the marvelous, them come, send the champion, them come. Make them know say till a man in the doctor no go down. Who can stand it better run? Now no time for give me bone. His flood when you bought this loaded magnum. Well, the girl them a rush me 'cause them love how me stay. Take a president pound for them highway.
All right. I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. Go check out Beenie Man. Go check out Bounty Killer. Again, congrats to the two artists. Thank you all so much for doing what you do. We appreciate you. All right. Tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll be back. I'm gonna give Comcast a piece of my mind. So, well, let me be grateful. We didn't get cut today. All right. But I'm having some internet issues here. But I'll get in contact with them. Find out what's good. I thank you all so much for rocking out with us right here on the midday link up on Jamaicans.com. I gotta get up out of here, but I'm gonna leave out of here with our brand new Beenie Man, and you know what I mean? That one that coming is called Do the Math. A lot of people haven't heard it yet, but it's a big tune.
But the girl don't need name and clothes. Girl just come in at me house, compose. Them make water come out of me house. For the root of your house. Hey, girl. You know me love the way you sexy. Plus about the thick on your ass.
David I, Hope, Michelle, Jacqueline, ZZ, everybody.
Goody the girl equal plus. Me and you together, girl equal us. Enough girl out the road, seat and cuss. Now watch no face, me girl be conscious. Give you the sitting here for your keep and trust. Now go round you like wheel pan bus. Climb the hill, you was so steep and tough. Then back it up for me like a Lil and Chuck. Me do the max, you the vibe. Any position you want, girl, you decide. Girl, yeah, me love.
My pleasure, Sultry.
Cause any
Looking forward to seeing you.
night, otherwise, you have a vibes, you have a vibes. You have a vibes, you have a vibes. Girl, your body me a analyze. When you tell me say you're good, analyze. On my bed, the girl them want sleep on. With me, them husband them want cheat pan. Some boy a beat iron and a bed pan. While me round a yard and a bed pan. Cause them a Harry Potter, them a Peter Pan. She leaving cause of me have the real pattern. Me make she spit fire like tree dragon. Yeah, I don't know how be she reach her from. Come fi marry but she couldn't find the preacher man. But the star, me she want a feature from. But the girl no need name than class.
It's Moses, ladies and gentlemen. I'm out of here.
House come
Remember, if you haven't yet followed, make sure you're following Jamaicans.com. All right, hit me up on social media. That's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook at my G Cole. Put in that Homegrown with G Cole. It's gonna be a vibe. Again, rest in peace to the legend, the late great Mr. Bobby Digital Dixon. Had a wonderful conversation with him. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, Homegrown with G Cole, and just type in Bobby Digital Dixon. A whole hour of just going through the classics, talking to the OG, talking to the legend, finding out how he thinks, taking into that world. You know what I mean? A lot of the people who've passed away, I haven't had the opportunity to speak to. I did vicariously through whom? Through the legendary Mr. Bobby Digital Dixon. All right. Again, subscribe everywhere. My G Cole, Homegrown with G Cole. I love y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. It's the midday link up. Do the maths.
any position you want, girl, you decide. Girl, yeah, me love it when you're by me side. Cause any